Okay, distributed computing system is not a operating system. So this is not an application. Okay, this is the environment. This environment is available on top of operating system. Okay, a primary goal of distributed computing environment is vendor independent. It runs on many different kind of computers, operating system and networks produced by different vendors running distributed application. See here, distributed computing environment application, distributed computing environment software and operating system and network. See, this environment is available top on operating system. Okay, sometimes this environment is available in the application, sometimes this environment is available on software. Okay, distributed computing environment is a middleware software layer between the DCE application layer and operating system and networking layer. Okay, see in the middle is the distributed computing environment software. This DCE software is available in between DCE application and operating system. A collection of existing machines, possibly from different vendors, interconnect them by a communication network at the DCE software platform on top of native operating system of the machines and then be able to build and run distributed application. Why this distributed computing environment is required? Main motto is this DCE is required for building and running the distributed application. Why this distributed computing environment is required? Why? This is required for build, build and run the distributed application. We can build the distributed system. Otherwise, you want to run the distributed application. For that, we will require this distributed computing environment, and this is available on top of operating system. Each machine has its own local operating system, which may be different from that of other machines. Every machines are available in the distributed computing environment. Okay, there is no doubt about all machines require the Windows. There are a number of machines are there. Every machine has the different operating system. There is no issue. The distributed computing environment software layer hides the differences between machines by automatically performing data type conversion when necessary. See, what is the benefit of the DCE? Okay, with help of the DCE, we can build and run the distributed applications. This is the first thing. Second thing, here the data type conversion when necessary. Here you want to convert the data from one language to another. This facility is available in the distributed computing environment. Means somebody if our data uh, in the English format, but user cannot understand the English, user aware about only Hindi language, then data type conversion is required. Okay, this facility will provide distributed computing environment will provide. We have provided this facility. We can automatically convert this data. Therefore, the heterogeneous nature of the system is transparent to the application programmers, making their job of writing distributed application much simpler. Okay. Means you only keep in your mind why distributed computing environment is required. First thing, the distributed computing environment is available top on operating system. Second, this DC is required for building and running the distributed application. And another main thing of this distributed computing environment is data type conversion. Next point is distributed computing environment components. See, the first component is the thread package. Second component is the remote procedure call facility, RPC. Next is distributed time service. Next is the name services, security services, and distributed file services. Okay, first service is the thread package. Already you learned this thread in the Java. What is the thread? What is the thread? You heard about this thread. You learned this concept in Java programming or in C++. Thread. What is thread? Means single program have the n number of processes. Single program have n number of processes. Single process have n number of thread. This is thread package. Okay, means thread is the small part of program, but this thread is required at the time of running the program. If your program is running, you require this thread package. Next is the remote procedure call. Remote means what is the difference between local and remote? Local means both the client and server is available on the same computer machine. This is called as local. What is the remote? The client and server are available on different computer machine. This is called a remote. For example, I am sitting here. I am the client machine. Server is far away from me. Means server is not present here. Server is present in the far away from me. But what about local? In my computer machine, both client and servers are available. What is the use of this remote procedure call? Means I am sitting in the Pandharpur and server is available in the Pune. Okay, I want to run some files. These files are available in the server machine. Then remote procedure call means remotely I will call the function. This function is available on the server, and I will call this function and run this function on the server machine. Means remotely I will call this function and run this function on the server machine. Got it? This is the remote procedure call. Okay. Here we have completed thread, package, and remote procedure call. Next is distributed time service. Okay, every time why this time service is required. For example, I am the client, I am sending one request to the server. Okay, before sending any request to the server, I can use the timer. Okay, within this time period, I will receive the response from the server, then I will send the second request. But within this time period, I didn't get any response from server, then I will resend the or retransmit the same request once again. Same thing, this time service is available at server side also. Okay, if server give the response to the client machine at that time, the server side, server also using the timer. Means this time service is important in the distributed system. Otherwise, here deadlock will be happen. Means client is waiting for server and server is waiting for client, or client is waiting for the server, first server, this server is waiting for second client waiting for the third server. Okay, here deadlock will be occur. Overcome this problem, here we can use time services. Within this time period, we receive this request or response, then we'll start the next activity. Or within this time period, we didn't got any request or response from particular computer machine, then we'll retransmit the same request or same response once again. Name is the next is the name services. Okay, every servers have the name. Google server, YouTube server, Yahoo server, we can call it Wikipedia server. Okay, every server have the name. This is called name services. Next important is the security services. Okay, everybody are providing security. Next is the distributed file services. This is called as file management. See, in single server have the 1,000 file. They will manage the file. All 1,000 file have the different format. PDF, doc, we can call JPG, whatever may be, image format. Okay, means all thousands file have the different file format. See, then also this distributed system server will manage these files. This is called as distributed file services. These are the components. Distributed computing environment have the total 6 components: thread package, remote procedure call facility, distributed time service, name services, security services, and distributed file services. See here, the interdependency of distributed computing system components are given below. Component name and other component used by it. Okay, thread that doesn't use the any component. A remote procedure call, they can use the thread name and security. Distributed time service, they can use the thread, RPC name and security. The distributed name, they can use the thread, RPC, distributed time service and security. Security, they can use the thread, RPC, distributed time service and name. And lastly, distributed file system, they can use the thread, RPC, distributed time service, name and security. Means everybody are using the different component at the time of execution. Okay, here we have completed distributed computing environment. What is the main motto of this distributed computing environment? This distributed computing environment is used for building and running the distributed applications. These are the components. Every components have used different components at the time of running the distributed system. The last point of this first unit is protocol for distributed system. Protocols for distributed system. What is the requirement? We require the transparency, client server based communication, group communication, security, network management, and scalability. Already we saw these are the advantages of distributed system. Means this is requirement for protocols. We require the transparency, we require the client server based communication, group communication. Right now this is group communication. Right now our lecture is going on. Okay, this is Google Meet. Okay, this is the group communication activity. Next is security, network management, and scalability. Here the distributed computing system have two protocols. First is the FLIP, second is the VMTP. What is the FLIP? Fast local internet protocol, and VMTP means versatile message transfer protocol. We see one by one. First we see the VMTP, versatile message transfer protocol. This VMTP support the request response behavior. I am sending the request, you will give the response. This is request response behavior. Provide transparency and group communication facility, selective retransmission mechanism, rate based control flow control. Okay, this main motto of this VMTP protocol, versatile message transfer protocol, is this protocol is supported for request response behavior. Also, this protocol is using the transparency and group communication facility. They will provide the transparency and group communication facility. Also, this protocol supports execution of non-arrangement operation and conditional delivery of real-time communication. See, this is the packet format of VMTP, versatile message transfer protocol. This is the packet format. All of you see this diagram. This is the packet format of versatile message transfer protocol. All of you see this diagram. See, in this diagram, the data to be transmitted, we divide this data into segment. See, a 16 bits segment, 16 bit segment, 16 bit segment. And every segment have the block. The block size is the 12512. See here. Means versatile message transfer protocol. They can transfer the data from one place to another. Okay, at that time they can divide our data into segment. Then Divide this segment into n number of blocks. Here the block size is 1 to 512 kilobyte. This is the versatile message transfer protocol packet format. Means main motto of this VMTP is they support the request response behavior. See here how the client server interaction with the help of VMTP. See, this left side is the client, right side is the server. The client send the request is A, server give the response A. The client sends second request B, server give the reply, response B. Means here a request response procedure is going on. The response A is not acknowledged but piggybacked with request B. See here, what is the piggybacking? You heard about this piggybacking. You know what is the piggybacking? Okay, you keep this word. Okay, you think about. For example, I will send the request to server. Server give the response. I will send the second request. Server give the second response. I will send the third request. Server give the third response. What is the piggybacking? In the piggybacking, okay, here response is not acknowledged but piggybacked with request P. Means in the response they cannot send only response to the particular computer machine. They will send response plus request. Here, what is the piggybacking? At the time of sending the response, okay, they can send response plus request. For example, right now the two persons communication going on through computer machine A and machine B. Machine A send the request to the B machine B give the response to the A machine. But at the same time, machine B also want to send the response plus request. Machine B want to send the response plus request. Here, at the time of sending the response from machine B to A, the machine B in the response message, they can add his own request message. This is called as piggybacking. Piggybacking means in the response message, if this particular machine want to send the request, then in the single message they will send response plus request. This is called as piggybacking. Means here we have completed the first protocol is the VMTP, versatile message transfer protocol. Second protocol is the FLIP, fast local internet protocol. Okay, this protocol is the connectionless protocol. You already know TCP and UDP. TCP is the connection oriented and UDP is the connectionless. Same thing, this fast local internet protocol is the connectionless protocol. Connectionless means connection is available, but what is the connectionless? At the time of sending the data, sender doesn't think about receiver. If receiver is the online or offline, means if receiver is using internet or not. This is simple. They don't think about receiver is using the internet or not. The sender want to send the request to the particular receiver, they can directly send the request. This is called as connectionless. What is the connection oriented? Before sending any request to the receiver, first they will check the receiver is online or offline. If our receiver is online, then and then only sender send the request to the receiver. Here, this FLIP is the connectionless protocol. This FLIP provides transparency for process migration. Migration means transfer from one place to another. Also, they will provide the secure message delivery. Next, they will provide the group management. This is private and public addresses. Also, they have provided the network management. Also, this flip will provide the efficient client server based communication. Means this flip protocol provides the a number of services. First is transparency for process migration, secure message delivery between the two users, group management, private and public addresses, network management, and efficient client server based communication. See, this is the flip box. See here, host, and another end is the Ethernet or token ring. In the flip box, have the host interface, packet switch, and network interface. All of you see this diagram. This is the flip blocks. The flip box have host interface. Host means computer machine. And network interface. See, our network is Ethernet network, token ring network, or bus network. Okay, these are the network. Means flip box or this flip protocol is interface between host and network. That's why this flip will provide the efficient client server based communication. Okay, means a flip protocol is interface between computer machine and network. This network means your Ethernet network, token ring network, bus network, hub, whatever may be. This is the network. Means here we have completed these two protocols, flip and VMTP. Flip means first local internet protocol. This is the connectionless protocol, and second is VMTP is the versatile message transfer protocol. VMTP means this is request response behavior, and flip is the connectionless protocol. Okay, here we'll take 2-minute break. Okay, here we'll take 2-minute break. Short break, only 2 minutes. Okay, here we have completed first unit. Here the content beyond the syllabus. Okay, before that, all of you type your roll number in the chat box for your attendance. At the time of writing your roll number in the chat box, please mention your division dash roll number. Please mention your division dash roll number, A dash or B dash. All of you type your division dash roll number in the chat box for your attendance. Those who are remaining, please type your division dash roll number in the chat box for your attendance. Okay. In the first unit, we have completed the first unit. Here, content beyond the syllabus is the architecture style. Okay. The architecture style means formulated in terms of components and the way they are connected. A component is a modular unit with well-defined interfaces, replaceable and reusable. And what is the connector? Connector is a communication link between modules, mediates coordination and cooperation among components. There are total 4 tiles that are most important. First is the layer architecture. Already you heard about this layered architecture in OSI reference model. Object-based architecture, data center architecture. This is the processes communicate through a common repository. Event-based architecture, processes there are 4 styles layer architecture, object based architecture, data center architecture, and event based architecture. Okay, this is the architecture style. It is the content beyond syllabus. In the architecture style, we require the two main thing. One is the component and connector. Component means machine. For example, in my project lab, I have the 20 machines. This is the components. And what is the connector? All 20 machines will connect with each other. Means here we require the Cat6 cable. We require the switch. This is the connector. Means in the architecture style, we require the two main things. First is the component. Component means device, and connector. Okay. These are the layers. This is the object. How layers are connected with each other. See here. And how objects are connected with each other. These are the architecture styles. See, this is the components. The many components are connected with each other. This is the content beyond syllabus. This is the architecture styles. Okay. Next is we see the multiple choice questions. Okay. See, or let me see the first question. In the distributed system, each processor has its own. First option is the local memory, clock, both local memory and clock, and none of the mentioned. Okay, every processor have its own local memory and clock. Clock is important. Okay, every computer machine or every processor have its own local memory and clock. The option C. Second question, if one side fail in distributed system, then automatically the remaining side can continue operating. Option A. Option B is the all the sides will stop working. C option, directly connected side will stop working. And fourth is none. In distributed system, if one side fail in distributed system, then option A is correct. The remaining sides can continue operating. The third MCQ question is, network operating system runs on. Network operating system runs on. The first option is server. Second option is every system in the network. Third option is both server and every system in the network. And fourth is none. The network operating system, network related operating system is run on server. Network relative is called as NOS. Network operating system is NOS. Network operating system runs on server machine. Fourth MCQ questions, which technique is based on compile time program transformation for accessing remote data in a distributed memory parallel system? Which technique is based on compile time program transformation for accessing remote data in a distributed memory parallel system? Remote data, cache coherence scheme, computation migration, remote procedure call, and message passing. Okay, here is the accessing remote data. Accessing remote data in a distributed memory parallel system means option B is correct. Computation migration. Migration means one place to another place. Same thing here. Accessing remote data in a distributed memory parallel system. The option is computational migration. Fifth number question is, logical extension of computation migration is process migration, system migration, thread migration, data migration. Okay, program have number of processes. Single process have a number of thread. Okay, this process have the logical extension of computation migration. Okay, because This process is used for running the program, and here we can logically run the program. That's why option A is correct. Process migration. Next question, processes on the remote system are identified by host ID, host name and identifier, and process ID. Processes on the remote system are identified. How will you identify the system is available in the Pune? The processes on the remote system. This process is available on the remotely. Remote means, for example, I am sitting in the Pandharpur, and remote machine is available in the Pune. In the Pune server have the processes. How will I identify? We require the host name of this particular computer machine and identifier. What is the question? Processes on the remote system. In remote system have the processes. In that remote system have the processes. How will I identify? We require the host name, because we require the computer name. Means host name is computer name and identifier. Means we require the computer name plus computer ID. Then automatically we can identify this particular process on the remote machine. Next question is, which routing techniques is used in distributed system? Fixed routing, virtual routing and dynamic routing. Okay, all these three routings are used in the distributed system. In distributed system, link and site failure is detected by polling, handshaking, token passing and none of the mention. In distributed system, link and site failure is detected by handshaking. You know, 3-way handshaking, 4-way handshaking. You saw this. Okay, 3-way handshaking and 4-way handshaking. This handshaking is used for link and site failure in detected by distributed system. The capability of a system to adapt the increase the service load is called scalability, tolerance, capacity and none. The capacity of system to adopt the increase the services load means, for example, in Pandharpur have the 1 lakh computer machine. We can increase the 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh. Here load has increased. This is called as scalability. Next is internet provide dash for remote login, telnet, STP, FTP and RPC. Internet provide dash remote login. The option is first telnet. Telnet is the remote logging. Okay, already you studied this telnet in the computer network. Also you done the program with the help of telnet. You can remotely log in. Thank you. Okay, here we have completed the first unit. The unit name is the fundamentals. In the first unit, we saw the fundamentals of operating system, functions of operating system, what is distributed system, evaluation of distributed system, advantages of distributed system over centralized system, distributed computing system models. Also, we have completed why distributed system is more popular, gaining popularity. Next is design issues in designing distributed system. Next, introduction to distributed computing environment. This is a DES. Why DC is required. And last point is the protocols for distributed system. They have two protocols, FLIP and VMTP. Also, we have completed content beyond syllabus. Also, we saw the 10 MCQ questions. Means here I have completed first unit. Unit name is the fundamentals. Next, we see the second unit. The second unit name is the message passing. See, out of 8 units here, we have completed first unit. The unit name is the fundamentals. Next, we see the second unit. The second unit name is the message passing. Second unit name is the message passing. What is the message? What is the message? What is the message? Our unit name is the message passing. What is the message? Message means data. What is the data? Data means raw data. Message means complete information. Means information have the n number of data. Information is the collection of number of data. What is the message? Message means complete information. Complete information. What is the passing? Passing means pass this message from one place to another place. What is the message passing? We can pass the message from one computer machine to another computer machine for communication. Why message passing is required? This message passing is required for communication between two computer machines. It's called as message passing. See, the syllabus are introduction, desirable feature of good message passing system, issues in IPC by message passing, synchronization, buffering, message passing interface, multi-datagram messages, process addressing, failure handling, group communication, and case study RMI and Corba. We see the first point is the introduction. Message passing system is subsystem of distributed system that provides a set of message based IPC inter-process communication protocol. The inter-process communication protocol is a mechanism which allows processes to communicate with each other and synchronize their action. The communication between these processes can be seen as a method of cooperation between them. Processes can communicate with each other through both shared memory and message passing. Means in message passing system is the subsystem of distributed system, and here we can use the inter-process communication. See, already I told you single program have a number of processes and single process have a number of thread. Means in the message passing system here we can use the inter-process communication. Means what is the message passing system is they can pass the processes between two computer machine. For example, I pass one process to the another machine. In the another machine, they can pass this particular process particular message to the particular process. Here we require the inter-process communication. Okay, for this message communication or for this passing the processes between each other, we require the two things. First is the shared memory and message passing. See here, message passing, okay, the P1 they pass the message to the P2 and P2 they pass the message to the P1. This is the message passing basic IPC mechanism. What is the shared memory? This P1 and P2 they can use the common memory. Already you saw the shared memory in the first unit. For example, in the project lab, all 20 computer machine they can access the memory of server because server have shared the memory. Server have the shared the memory. Means all 20 computer machine they can use the common memory. This common memory is available on the server. Means server can share this memory to the all the client machine. This is called as shared memory. In the shared memory also we can do the communication between each other. In the message passing also they can pass the message from one process to another process. What is the message passing? And in the message passing we can use the inter process communication mechanism. All of you got it? What is the message passing? Next is desirable feature of good message passing system. At the time of passing the message, okay, we got the good features. We got the good feature. First feature is simplicity. Simple and easy to use. This message passing system is simple. Any computer machine they can pass the message to any computer machine, they can send the message to the another computer machine. This is easy thing. It's simple. Right now I will pass the message. Okay, all of you type your division dash roll number in the chat box for your attendance. This simple thing, I can easily pass the message, and all the receivers, means you are the receivers, all the students they can type his division dash roll number in the chat box. Means this is a message passing system is simple and easy to use. Simple and clear semantic of IPC protocol of message passing makes it easier. Clear semantics means you understood my language. This is a simple and clear semantic of inter-process communication protocol of message passing makes it easier. Next, second desirable feature of message passing is uniform semantics. There are two types of communication, local and remote. Semantics of remote should be as close as possible to local communication for ease of use. Okay, uniform semantics means semantic of remote should be as close as possible to local communication for ease of use. For example, right now our communication is going on. This is the remote communication. Why remote? I am sitting in the college. I am using the mobile. You are sitting. All students are sitting his or her home. Okay. For me, you are the remote machine. You are the remote. But here, uniform semantics means all are using the Google Meet. All are joined this Google Meet. Through this Google Meet, we can pass the message between each other. Means here, we form the uniformity. If your communication is going on locally or remotely, there is no issue. But at the time of communication, all are using the same platform or all are using the same application, then here communication is going on easily. This is simple and easy thing. This is called as uniform semantics. Next is efficiency. It can be made efficient by reducing number of message exchanges. It can be made efficient by reducing number of message exchange, avoiding cost of setting and terminating connection between the same pair, minimizing the cost of maintaining connection. This is called piggybacking. How will increase the efficiency? First thing is the reducing number of message exchange. For example, I want to send the syllabus of the DIS system. Means I want to send the syllabus of the DIS subject. Then I will take the syllabus from my university website. Okay, I will copy this DIS syllabus in the Word file. I will send this Word file to you. But you want to syllabus of another subject name is the WT. Then WT teacher will follow the same procedure and they will send the same thing to you. But here you have the 6 subject, then you will get the 6 file. Overcome this problem, here we will reduce the messages. I will send only one PDF file. In that PDF file have the all 6 subject syllabus. Then here I have reduced the remaining 5 files. Means then and then only your efficiency will increase. It can be made efficient by reducing number of message exchange. Okay. Means student need the syllabus of 6 subject. Every 6 faculty have sent the 6 different file. It's not necessary. Only one faculty they will send the PDF file. In the single PDF file have the all 6 subject syllabus. Means here we reduce the number of messages. Means here automatically efficiency has increased. Second is avoiding cost of setting and terminating connection between the same pair. Okay, right now our communication is going on. After completing the lecture, automatically all of you terminate this connection. All of you leave this meeting. Next, minimizing the cost of maintaining connection and piggybacking. Already you know what is piggybacking. For example, communication is going on in between A and B. A send the request to the B give the reply to the A or response to the A. At the time of giving the response to the A machine, B can add his own request in the response message. This is called as piggybacking. Means in the single message, the B user can send the response plus request. This is called piggybacking. With using this piggybacking, here efficiency has increased. Next is reliability. All of you got this concept: simplicity, uniform semantic, and efficiency. All of you got this efficiency. How efficiency has increased? Anybody have any question? Next is reliability. All of you read it. What is the reliability? All of you read these remaining features: reliability, correctness, flexibility, and security. All of you read this slide. Okay, next point is the reliability. Distributed system is the prone to node crashes and communication link failure resulting into loss of data. Handling of lost message, duplicate messages capable of detecting and handling duplicates, generating and assigning appropriate sequences. Means distributed system is the more reliable. Why? Because a particular node or particular message is lost, uh, or some communication link is failure, okay, then they can generating and assign the appropriate sequences. Same thing, if particular server is the crash, the second server will give the response to the client machine. That's why distributed system is the more reliable. Already we saw this reliability in the last unit. Next is the correctness. Correctness means first is the atomicity. Message sent to all of them or none of them. Order delivery means message in order. Survivability means guarantee message will be delivered correctly in spite of failure. Okay, correctness means first is the atomicity. Your message sent to all of them or none of them. Order delivery means your message should be delivered successfully at the receive side. And survivability means you should give the guarantee at the time of delivering the message. This is the correctness. Next is the flexibility. User may choose type and level of reliability. This is synchronous, asynchronous, send and receive choice. Means your message passing system should be flexible. Anybody can send the any message. This is a text message, video message, image message. Next is the security. It must provide secure end-to-end communication. The necessary things are in security. This is the authentication of receiver by sender and authentication of sender by the receiver. Why this authentication required? For example, you are receiving the message. Right now you are receiving the, you are listening. Okay, means you are receiving the message. Before receiving the message, you should check the sender is authenticate or not. Okay, what is the authentication? In the security, at the time of end-to-end communication, we will provide the security. Here, we require the authentication. What is the authentication? All the students are listening, correct? Before listening my lecture, you should check the lecturer is authenticate or not. Means here also you check the security. If the sender is authenticate, then and then only you can receive the message. And last is portability. There are two aspects. Message passing system should itself be portable. Application written by using the primitives of IPC protocol of message passing system should be portable. Portable means you can easily pass the message from one place to another. Message passing system should itself be portable. Means here we have completed the desirable feature of good message passing system. The first is the simplicity. Second is the uniform semantics. Third is efficiency. Fourth is reliability. Fifth is correctness. Sixth is flexibility. Seventh is security. And last is portability. Next point is the issues in IPC inter-process communication by message passing. Okay, we'll see this point in the next lecture. Up to that, we have completed first unit, and in the second unit, we have completed introduction, and second point is the desirable feature of good message passing system. The next point we will see in the next lecture. Okay, before that, all of you typed your division dash roll number in the chat box for your attendance. Those who are remaining, please. Remaining, already you typed, it's okay. But those who are remaining, please type your division dash roll number in the chat box for your attendance. Type your division dash roll number in the chat box for your attendance. Those who are remaining, please complete this procedure for your attendance. Those who have completed, you can leave the meeting. Okay, here we'll stop here.